Hello, hi everyone. Thanks for joining. I don't have a coffee with me. I have water today, and it's my first live stream, so please bear with me. Feel free to ask questions in the YouTube comment section part, as well as on StreamYard. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. Additionally, I want to start with some more general updates about the project. I'm pretty sure you are all following what we've been up to lately. I can also give you some updates on the development side as well. So as you've seen today, we've got on the Binance trading competition. It finally happened. Looking forward to it. Looks pretty exciting. Besides that, as you've seen, we've made a lot of progress on multiple fronts, from partnerships to new exchange listings as well. We are also expanding to the Latin American community, which means we'll get on one of the biggest exchange there very soon. So the goal is to give the users access to be able to buy the token to as many regions as possible. So this is all exciting, but on the tech side, there are way more exciting things. So I want to discuss a little bit about this. So this week and last week, we've been expanding our analytics engine to index DeFi activities in other ecosystems, such as Binance Smart Chain, as well as Matic. This means that now we are collecting data which we can further analyze, not just for Ethereum, but for the other ecosystems as well. This means that we can now, whenever we launch the initial version in Q1, we can't share the exact date yet. We will be able to launch support for multiple ecosystems. So that's very exciting. As you know, we've finalized the first audit like a month ago. Now we are in process of finalizing the second audit. This is also the last audit that we plan. Additionally, as I kept mentioning, we worked on programmatic limits. So we want to start with certain limit at the very beginning. For example, let's say $1 or $2 million, and then users can get exposed to the basket. There will be a limit per address, just to make sure that the code base is ready for basically for live deployment. And as we've seen, this approach works really well, because if you just allow, for example, unlimited amounts, then auditing is great, but testing something in real battle is way more reliable, way more reliable. So that's what we are aiming to do, and then gradually increase the limits. And if you see in these programmatic limits, the cool thing about this is that you have incentives built in. So let's assume that there is a hacker out there, and he found out about some exploit, let's say, and then now he is incentivized to take whatever is out there right now, or he has to wait until we increase the limits even further. But since we will gradually increase the limits, he knows that maybe someone else will find the exploit before him. So that way, it's easily, if there is some security issue, which, as I kept mentioning, this is our number one priority. If there is some security issue, we'll be able to easily solve it. Also, like we've introduced additional instruments in the basket engine, and we are writing as many tests as we can to have 100% code coverage. And besides that, we are already expanding the initial version, which is we have this mechanism called applying deltas. So what happens is whenever you want to trigger a rebalance or reallocation, or you want to listen to the analytics engine, which comes with an update package for your baskets, you will not have to liquidate your basket. You will be just able to, with one click, you will be able to apply the delta, and then you are exposed to either a different composition or different percentage-wise different exposure to the existing assets. The other one that's I'm the most excited about is the pooling mechanism. This is also like the hardest problem to solve. Is we are working on this mechanism actively, and we wanna make sure that the fee that the users pay will be the least fee that generally people pay. So what happens? How this works? To explain it with the least technical words is like this. So there is a very lightweight smart contract which will take the order, and then the goal is you're not gonna get exposed through the pooling mechanism. You're not gonna get exposed directly to the right away to the assets. It might take, let's say, an hour. And why? Because there is a buffer, and this buffer gets the all the orders. It aggregates them. It knows how to resolve them. It knows which address, what's the exposure amount that it has to claim, basically. And then with just one click, the funds are routed. There is a hefty fee there that at the beginning the company will cover, but eventually there is also like incentive mechanism where everyone can call this and technically pay the fee for everyone. While also we have also in the mechanism to take percentage of each position. And why percentage is very important? Because on Ethereum right now it's not really percentage. Why? For example, if you wanna invest $100, your gas fee is maybe $40. So that's like 40% of your position. It's unbearable. Like, it's definitely not suitable. But it's also 40% for people that want to invest $10,000. So with percentage, we're able to trigger this mechanism so that it will actually take percentage instead of fixed fee. One more update is, as you guys seen, we've announced the debit card teaser. We are actively working hard to push this before Q3. So our goal is to get this done in Q2. And since many people asked what is this about, it's basically the first DeFi debit card. And what this does is you're exposed to DeFi. You don't have to get out, and whatever you're earning through the farming, through the, let's say, through Wi-Fi vaults, through LP providing, we'll be able to top up your card, let's say, twice a week. So the goal is, if, let's say, there is a person that let's say puts $10,000 into a certain basket and gets exposed to different LP pools, etc. If let's take some very conservative number and say that there is 10% annual returns. So that means the user gets around $80 a month, let's say. And the goal is that he has access to this $80 literally at all times. So he can go and buy groceries. He can use the debit card everywhere. But additionally, what we are introducing is gamifying this experience, so that whenever you spend the card, there will be some rewards, there will be some cashback, there will be some randomness. Basically, you go, you spend on a petrol station, and then somehow you get something. There is like a certain percentage of a chance that you get some, let's say, some Reef tokens, or maybe you get some discount when it comes to triggering the rebalancing, etc. So this is we really want to do a very deep integration with the debit card. Additionally, next exciting thing is the insurance part, and we've tried to simplify it as much as we could. So what happens is, you have protocols like Nexus Mutual, and based on which protocols you're exposed to, you have to buy coverage for that protocol. And the issue with this is that it's becoming even more complex. The user has to pay gas fees again, and they have to learn how everything works. And if something happens with the protocol, then the user has to claim this. So the user will have to learn how to claim this. It's a pretty complicated, and it takes forever. So what we are working on, what we want to deploy most likely in Q2, is whenever you choose a basket, you will be able to tick one simple checkbox which says insure my whole position. And what this does, it takes some small percentage of your position, and then it forwards it to some address that's owned by the DAO, which in the background, basically we have open positions, and we are rebalancing the positions in the insurance protocols for you. And if something happens, let's say let's say the basket has exposure to Uniswap, and Uniswap gets hacked, then we, as a single address which has coverage basically for all the baskets, will be able to claim the insurance and then distribute it to all the users. So this is pretty exciting stuff. Basically, it would be the safest, not just the cheapest, but also the safest way to invest into DeFi. So we are extremely excited about this. That's basically that. There is another more technical thing, which is we are making the basket more generic. And what more generic means is when we release the SDK, we want people to be able to compose with our inside our basket engine. So, for example, right now we are adding support for like Wi-Fi vaults, value vaults, Uniswap, Compound, Mooniswap, like all the important DeFi protocols. But with making the basket more generic, we can create multi-hop strategies. So, for example, Wi-Fi vault is some form of a multi-hop strategy, right? So this way, people can take this SDK and use it as a building blocks, basically. And they can compose. They will be like, I wanna first get into Aave, borrow against some currency, and then get that currency and jump into the next financial primitive, which does something else. Maybe it gives you exposure to NFT, etc. One more thing about NFTs. One of our biggest investor got the .nft domain. We are extremely happy about this and excited, which means he owns the .nft on the internet. So we as I've mentioned multiple times, we are NFT is a pretty big market, and it's just getting started. And we definitely want to allow the users through the same user experience, just like they get into DeFi activities. We would like them to get exposed to NFTs. And as you've seen lately with Avegochi, which we are in discussions with, they've created DeFi-powered NFTs. So this means you can come on the platform, and maybe there will be Reef branded Avegochis. We'll see. And what happens is, again, just like you get into DeFi, with just a few clicks, you are getting exposed to NFTs, which is a completely different asset class. So you are well diversified. What happens on top is the analytics engine has been already outputs metrics which are very user friendly. So they're not they have nothing to do with standard deviations and all of that. Everything is really simplified so that you can already gather some simple insights. But eventually this will be expanded even further, so you'll be able to see the balance of your diversification, and you will get some more inputs like why you should diversify into something else or not. And the cool thing about this is you don't have to listen to the analytics engine. You can still make your own decisions. You can create your own basket. And what happens is the analytics engine itself will see, okay, this user did not want to apply the delta, which is the modification of the position. So let's see what he did. And maybe what the user did might turn out to be like maybe a bit more profitable. And then what happens is, as the users create more baskets, our analytics engine is also learning from that. And this means over time, as users, and there will be users that will want to do 100% their own custom basket, we will be able to learn what they do and how they're rebalancing, and from that we can further improve it. One interesting question was for the what happens if a user is already in DeFi? Like, I'm already providing LP, I'm already in Compound, I'm in Aave, I'm everywhere. Like, why should I use Reef? So obviously we needed some decent value proposition for these kind of users. So what happens is, this is again tied to the analytics engine and the debit card. So what happens, let's say you're already in DeFi, as you've seen, your wallet probably has like a lot of things. Some wallets are able to read your positions, some wallets are not able to read your positions because they haven't integrated maybe Uniswap, etc. So what happens is, you come on Reef, and there is one button called basketize my existing DeFi positions, and then you can just you will get the list of all your positions. You can check all the boxes how you want to bundle your positions together, and then with a single click you can basketize your positions. And what you get with this is two things. The first one is, you can get the debit card, and whatever you earn, a percentage of what you're earning goes to automatically, your debit card is automatically topped up. And second, the basket engine, the analytics engine now monitors your positions, so you get additional insights, you get additional ideas for optimization, etc. So this is pretty exciting for people who are already in DeFi as well. So that's pretty much what we've been up to. As you guys know, this is a lot of things, and this landscape is moving with certain pace, and the reason why is security. So all of these other projects, everyone is worried about security, and this needs to be really tackled like very seriously, because a project has one chance. Like, if you don't do it well, we've seen what happens. Like, projects just collapse, and this is something that we're very cautious, and we want to make sure we are like 100% controlling this, from not just from technical, but also from incentive and game theory point of view. So that's the update. Now I will jump to the questions. I will start with the questions on YouTube. Let's see. Yes, actually, Babyback asked if the debit card is topped in fiat. This is a great question. The debit card can be topped in cryptocurrency as well. So you'll be like, okay, you are gonna top up my credit card, but my yields are in Ethereum, and I don't want to sell my Ethereum. I want to have Ethereum exposure, but still be able to buy something with my debit card. So the debit card can be topped up with Ethereum, and then the moment you pay, that's when the spot price is in real time taken. If Ethereum is like 1.5K, that's the price that's taken, and you can it's subtracted from your Ethereum. And not just Ethereum, you will be able to choose a list of multiple assets that you wanna have on your debit card, and you can choose the priorities. So you can reorder the assets. You'll be like, I want first to take from my stable coin, second from Bitcoin, third from Ethereum, fourth from Reef. And then you can, with drag and drop, you will be just you'll be able to readjust this easily. That's a great question. So when is staking coming on Binance? We actually had farming on Binance. So as you've guys seen, there is farming going on literally at all times somewhere. For example, right now there is farming happening on Unifarm. Before that, we had on Hobby, the deposit competition, the dot locking, etc. Before that, we had the farms on Binance. So there is more things coming, and we are expanding to not just be the token, but you'll be able to lock your LP tokens. We have something called Reef bonds, so you will be able to lock your tokens on a certain time frame. So that there is many exciting things come from this. I've been kind of not putting so much focus when it comes to AMAs on this part, because and I know a lot of users are very interested about this, but I'm really like passionate about the product side. and that's why. But we are coming up with a lot of staking, farming, and bonds very soon. So that's coming. Let's see the other question. Yeah. So what is the benefits of Reef and how among with existing DeFi products? So I assume you're asking like what's our edge or what's our competitive advantage. So basically, this is a great question. So what happens, as you guys have seen, a lot of projects are competing for TVL, and if you go on DeFi Pulse, you will see like this chart total value locked. TVL stands for total value locked. So this goes up, and then you have a list of projects, and they're competing. They're like, okay, we have Maker has 5.8 billion, Aave has 5 billion, etc. So when it comes to Ethereum, you have big players that are established, and they've covered all the financial primitives. So what we are doing is we are composing on top of the first layer. That's why I call Reef sometimes layer 1 DeFi. So what happens here, our goal is to bring them even more TVL, but the TVL that they have has a big market share coming from Reef. So let's say in a year from now, let's say Aave has $10 billion locked, and maybe if 10% of that TVL comes from Reef just on Aave, that's already a big success. So that's our position. We are not competing to take market share in the financial primitives layer, but we are trying to take market share in the upper layer, which is where the funds are basically flowing into the rest of the ecosystem. Hence, why our headline was changed to the gateway to DeFi. So that's our goal. Obviously, we are exploring the possibility to deploy our own financial primitives on Polkadot. And I cannot share a lot of details about this, but it's something that we've already started working on. So that's pretty exciting. It's also coming in Q2. Let me see other questions. Great question. No, will the analytics engine be able to rebalance to safer positions during an upcoming bear market? That's a great question. And when users ask, but what happens in a bear market? Like people will leave the DeFi instruments and everything will turn red. We're not thinking like this. First, this time the market is way more mature than what it used to be. So that's I think what we've seen in the past is not gonna be as brutal as some users remember. So what happens is in bear market, a lot of users will want to stay in stable coins and earn in stable coins. So everything around stablecoin will become even bigger, and our analytics engine has the stablecoin basket from day one. Stablecoin basket from day one. So then, from the more volatile basket, the users will be easily able to transition to the more to the stablecoin basket. So it means that Reef will be sustainable over the bear market as well. That's the point. So thanks. That's a great question. Let me see. Okay, so the reason why we chose the Polkadot ecosystem is, and why people still think it's some comparison between that Polkadot is Ethereum killer, etc. We don't see it. We don't see it that way. So Polkadot was built. It's the internet of blockchains, as they would call it. The idea is to unite the ecosystems. As we've seen, there's so much fragmentation out there, like more ecosystems, more stable coins, more wrapped assets. So now the fragmentation just ramps up literally on daily basis. So Polkadot and their interoperability layer, as well as high throughput and built-in security, allows projects to build fast and build for all the ecosystems. Additionally, it's a two-way street where existing ecosystems do not have to. So it's Polkadot will be able to plug into other ecosystems, and other ecosystems will be able to plug into Polkadot. So it's like a push and pull strategy, as I would call it. So this makes it very, very easy for ecosystems such as Avalanche to plug into Polkadot, and that's actually what's happening as well. So the goal of Polkadot is to abstract away the lowest blockchain layer, and finally the developers to have a chance to fully focus on building the actual use cases and not spend a lot of time on building their consensus algorithms or protecting against some, let's say, 51% attack, etc. So what happens is, just like it's exactly the same transition, just like with the general programming languages. So we started with C. Before that, it was even lower level. And what happens is, if we want to scale development in general, we needed a programming language which has more layers of abstractions, so that it will lower the technical barrier of entry for new developers. Why should everyone learn how to manage the memory in C, right? So that's exactly what happens here. We are building the first layer, which is all the blockchain infrastructure. Then is the second layer, the financial primitives. Then Reef SDK, something where people don't even have to learn. Like, why should a user learn what is LP? They don't have to learn what the word LP means. They can just come, few clicks, use their debit card, get exposed to DeFi, and that's it. It's that's also where the be your own bank comes from, because you're not just holding your coins on a hardware wallet. You are actually doing financial services, like you are lending, you are borrowing. That's exactly what the bank does. So basically, DeFi will help us become our own bank. And whenever people think banks, they associate it with debit cards. This is not the case. Debit cards are separate entities. They're just processing the transactions, such as Visa and MasterCard. And then in the background, you have clearing companies where your bank needs to send through to resolve with the other vendor that you bought, etc. So Visa and MasterCard are not banks, but they're very open to work with projects such as Reef. So this is a big advantage, and we are actually for real moving towards become your own bank. And this ecosystem is just getting started. That's a great question. So as you guys know, I cannot discuss prices. This is speculative. As I mentioned, you have a lot of noise on daily basis. People speculating. We have a traders group for that, but I cannot discuss prices here. Yes, there will be cashback in the card as well, and there will be multiple tiers. So you can get from one tier to another. Okay, so the biggest technical issue again is ensuring security. So there is a lot of effort being put into this, and the second is overcoming the optimizing for the least gas fees, which is extremely hard. Being layer one, you're one layer above, so which means you kind of have to pay more fees. So that's why we are coming with things like the pooling mechanism to make sure to lower that as much as we can. So that's the biggest barrier. Okay, I will take one more question. That's a great question, Vijay. So Centrifuge is a great project. Basically, they're one of the projects that really tackled well the connection between this crypto landscape and the traditional world. So what happens there? Just to explain it a little bit. The mechanics. you have a company and the company needs to fund their orders. So what happens? They have a pool for funding orders. They have a pool for something such as maybe a loan to an actual company, and they take care of everything in the background. And you as a user, you will be like, okay, this is my portfolio. I'm exposed to let's say Bitcoin. I'm exposed to providing liquidity in certain tokens, which inherently you're exposed to the token itself, because we have to provide both sides, or more than two. And then third, you're exposed to some stablecoin yield farming, and that's all great. But why not diversify your portfolio into more asset classes, such as NFTs and such as real world assets? So what it means is, why not take 10% of your position and put it into a centrifuge pool through Reef with one click, same user experience, and then help out those companies that actually need the funds, because their business is maybe capital intensive. They have a lot of cash flow, and they need some money, and they're happy to pay some percentage. So why not have that? So that's a great question, and we've been already talking to them actually, and we are exploring a collaboration on that front as well. So yeah, thanks everyone. That was the update. I forgot the coffee. I brought water. It's my first live stream ever. I hope I did well. We will keep doing these live streams. We'll give you more updates. And yeah, looking forward to the launch. Thanks. Have a great day.